Hi everyone, welcome to week 2. I'm going to jump in with our English work for the week today. First thing I'm going to show you is a little warm-up, and what I want you to have in front of you, or from a distance, is your spelling list for the week. So we're doing Sound Waves Unit 12, so we're representing the sound, and I want you to write your list, your own personal list, on a piece of paper in quite large writing so that you can see it from a little distance. You don't have to be crouched over your work to read it, because I want your hands and legs and arms and your whole body free. So here's the rhythm. It's really simple. It's stamp, stamp, thigh, thigh, chest, chest, slap, clap. Stamp, stamp, thigh, thigh, chest, chest, clap. Stamp, stamp, thigh, thigh, chest, chest, clap. Okay, come with me if you're not already. Okay, so now each time you clap, you say one of your spelling words. Handle. Hotel. Husband. Hurried, and so on. Okay, so eventually you'll get to do this really quickly. Handle. Hotel. Husband. Hurried. Okay, so that will warm up your body so that you're ready to learn. So then you can settle in and you can get on with your English work for the day. Okay, which I'll just go through really briefly for you. So you'll have a page, much like last week's page, that will explain in detail what maths you need to do, what English you need to do, and what activities we're doing for main lesson. So in English, it's going to look very similar to last week. You'll have your 1-minute reader. This week it's Annie and the Lady, and you will have your comprehension questions. So I know this is probably going to be reversed, but you are going to do the same thing as last week. Choose one of your comprehension questions for each time you do the reader, okay? And answer in a full sentence and write your answers in your beautiful learning journals, which I hope that you have begun to write in beautifully and neatly. And I've already had some fantastic responses from your families sending through your amazing work for week 1. So thank you very much, everybody, for doing that. And I'm looking forward to sharing that all with you in about 25 minutes, where I jump on with you all and we have a big chat on a Zoom meeting together. So, yes, maintain your learning journal. So just remember that in your learning journal, you've got all of your literacy work, so your comprehension questions, your journal question, and your own question, a question that you might like to ask about the reader this week. Okay, and any other writing tasks will be there as well. Also, you're going to use your learning journal for your maths work as well. Okay, what maths work you do that isn't on those sheets that I'm sending home, and soon when you get your workbooks at home, you'll be working from those too. Okay, so your learning journal is for your maths and your English work, anything that's not about Alexander the Great right now. So we're kind of going back to how we used to do things before we put everything all in one book, because the kinds of things we're putting into the book is a little bit, they're shorter things, not so much writing, and so I just wanted to make sure we're making the most of our beautiful resources. All right, folks, so stay tuned for the next part where we get into our writing tasks for the week. Bye! Hi again, folks. So here you've got 3 sentences, and as a quick warm-up today, I would like to have a look at these 3 and see if you can tell me which one is the simple sentence, which one is the compound sentence, and which one is the complex sentence. Okay, so we've got simple, compound, and complex. Let's start with the first one. Glowworms live in New Zealand. Okay, glowworms live in New Zealand. So remember, a simple sentence has a subject, a verb, and an object. So, glowworms live and New Zealand. The subject, remember, is what the sentence is about. So what's it about? Glowworm. So there's my subject. And what's my verb? Live. because that's the action. That's what the glowworms are doing. Glowworms live in New Zealand. Okay, so this is a simple sentence. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Insects fly to the sticky thread and they get stuck. Now, a compound sentence, remember, is a sentence that has two parts that are joined together by a small conjunction. Remember conjunctions? Remember fanboys. So, can you see a fanboy in there anywhere? Insects fly to the sticky thread. Hey, I can say that on its own. That is an independent clause. So I can join two independent clauses together with a conjunction. And in this case, my conjunction is and, because they get stuck could also be an independent clause. So insects fly to the sticky thread and they get stuck. What kind of sentence have I got, folks? Compound, that's right. Okay, so let's look at the last one. When the glowworm is hungry, it glows brightly. Now, could I cut off half of that sentence and would it make sense? When the glowworm is hungry, can that stand alone as an independent clause? It can't, because it has this word at the beginning, when. Now, when is a subordinating conjunction. Okay, so that changes this, what used to be a fairly independent clause. The glowworm is hungry. That could stand alone as a sentence. But if I put a word like when at the beginning, I need to extend my sentence. So I'm making my sentence more complex. And there's the big clue. When the glowworm is hungry, it glows brightly. Okay, so that is my complex. So which one was simple? This one. Which one was compound? This one. And which one was complex? This one. Okay, now just as another quick refresher, have a look at this first sentence, our simple sentence, and see if you can identify the nouns. Giving you a bit of time. Okay, so let's see. Glowworms, that is a noun, okay, or a collective noun. Glowworms live in and New Zealand. Now, New Zealand is also a noun, remember, but it's called a proper noun. It has capital letters because it's the name of a place, but it is a person, thing, or a place. See if you can identify the nouns in this sentence. Insects fly to the sticky thread and they get stuck. The first one's easy, insects. But can you see another noun? Remember, it's a person, thing, or place. Insects fly to the sticky thread. Okay, sticky isn't a noun, but thread is. Sticky describes the noun, so that's an adjective. So thread is our noun here. Have a look at your complex sentence and see if you can do that on your own. I'll give you a little minute. Okay, what have you got? When the glowworm is hungry, it glows brightly. The person, thing, or place is the glowworm. So glowworm is your noun. So that's a sneak preview into next week's reader. Okay, so this week, Class 5, we are learning to identify prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase is a group of words that begin with a preposition. Now, you might be thinking, what is a preposition? Well, there's a clue in the word preposition. There's a word within a word, position. So a preposition shows position in space and time. Okay? A preposition shows position in space and time. You can identify what a preposition is in a sentence by asking the questions where and when. So when I say space, I'm talking about where something happened, and in time, when something happened. So we're looking at prepositional phrases this week. Let's have a look at my picture of Alexander the Great over here. Check out what's happening in the picture. There's a lot going on apart from just a man on a horse. Now, I could say a very, very simple sentence about this picture. picture. I could say, Alexander rode his horse, couldn't I? That's true, that's correct, but it doesn't give much detail. So the reason why we learn about prepositional phrases is to make our writing more interesting. We can add more detail. So when you write a simple sentence, you can add a prepositional phrase after it, or you can begin the sentence with a prepositional phrase. And it'll make your writing much more interesting and give the reader a lot more of a clearer picture about where you are in your imagination when you're describing the story, describing the setting. So, for example, I could say, Alexander rode his horse toward the river, okay? The word toward is a preposition, and toward the river is the prepositional phrase, okay? So the prepositional phrase begins with the preposition, and in that case, it was a preposition that could answer the question, where? Where did he ride his horse? Toward the river. Okay, that was an example of a preposition of space. Okay, so prepositions can be either describing space, as I said before, or time, answering the question when. So let's have a look at an example of time, a preposition of time. Often you'll see the most common ones are probably before, during, and after. Okay, so I could say about this picture that I'm seeing here, before Alexander rode into battle, he dressed in his royal armor. Okay, before Alexander rode into battle, he dressed in his royal armor. So I could have just said he dressed in his royal armor, but it wouldn't give me much detail about what order of things happened during that day. So I can say, before Alexander rode into battle, he dressed in his royal armor. Okay, my prepositional phrase is before Alexander rode into battle. Okay, it begins with the preposition of time. My preposition of time was before. Now, I would like you to pause the video and see if you can write a sentence that uses a preposition of time, but using the word during. Okay, now you can do something similar to the sentence I just wrote, or you can check out this picture and write your own. You can find something in here about what's happening in the picture and write your own. So pause it now. Preposition of time using the word during. Good luck. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so how did you go with that? Hopefully you've made a nice sentence that makes sense. It begins with a capital letter, ends with a full stop or a punctuation, and you've used the word during, which is a preposition in your sentence. So you have used a preposition of time when you have said during. Okay, so here are some more examples. Let's really refine this skill now. We're going to read the sentence together, so I'd like you to read it along with me, and we're going to identify the preposition first and then the prepositional phrase. So we're going to circle the preposition and underline the prepositional phrase. Okay, so the first sentence is, the horses galloped into the river. Okay, the horses galloped into the river. Okay, the main subject of our sentence, the main noun, is the horses. They galloped, so that's what did they do? That was a verb. And where did they gallop? They galloped into the river. Okay, so into is my preposition, and into the river is my prepositional phrase. So I'm circling my preposition and underlining the phrase. Okay, where did they gallop? Into the river. So we're just identifying the preposition and then the prepositional phrase. Let's look at the next one. Please open the gate beside you. Please open the gate beside you. Okay, so please open the gate is a request, but here is some more detail. So, please open the gate beside you. Where? Beside you. So, where? Beside and beside you is the prepositional phrase. That was a little bit tricky, that one. The arrows travelled over the wall. What travelled? The arrows. They travelled where? Over the wall. Okay, so over is my preposition. And what is my prepositional phrase? I'm going to give you a sec to think about that. The arrows travelled over the wall. Okay, so the prepositional phrase is the group of words that begins with the preposition. Okay, the last one. There were many losses throughout the journey. Now this isn't so much a where, but a when question, a question about time. So, there were many losses throughout the journey. What were there? There were many losses. Where or when? Okay, how much time did it take? Or does it refer to time in any way? The word you're looking for is throughout. Okay, preposition of time when? Throughout the journey. Okay, so that's the format I'd like to see in your bookwork for this. The instructions will be on the page in front of you, and I hope to see some of those being sent back to me as a text message or as an email from your families. Thanks very much, and let me know if you have any problems. Please email or call me through the week. Bye everyone.